Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video, daily news and editorial analysis which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 3rd of September. The first news that is Prime Minister commissions indigenous aircraft carriers INS Vikrant. This is the first indigenous aircraft that was manufactured in India. Second, India to host Quad senior official meeting. Third, paddy cultivation sees decline. Fourth, indigenous vaccine against the lumpy skin disease, which is also known as LSD. So we'll see the detail about this, how it has impacted and what are the advantages of this vaccine. The last is an editorial. India's cyber infrastructure need more than patches. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions, and these questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. Before that, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful for your examination purposes, do not forget to give a like button. So starting the session with the first news, that is Prime Minister commissions India's first indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant. This is very much important for General Studies Paper 3 under the topic Achievement of India in Science and Technology, Indianization of Technology and Development of New Technology. So recently, the Prime Minister of India has commissioned country first indigenous aircraft carrier, which is named as INS Vikrant. Again, this is a pride moment for all of us that such large carrier was commissioned. Right? We'll see the minute details about INS Vikrant in the later part of the video. Now, the aircraft carrier showcased that the country growing power of the indigenous manufacturing, and the Prime Minister has dedicated a new ensign to Chhatrapati Shivaji. We'll see the new ensign and the detail about that as well. So India has joined those countries in the world which manufacture a huge aircraft carrier and which is having indigenous technology like France, US, चाइना एंड अदर कंट्रीज. तो इंडिया उस लीग में अब शामिल हो गया है जो खुद के सबमरीन्स को बेसिकली आईएनएस कैरियर्स को मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहा है. नाउ Indian Navy new ensign. This is again very much important for prelims examination and even for many other competitive examination. The Prime Minister has unveiled a new ensign or nishan or logo of Indian Navy, right? So in the new sign, the Saint George cross, which was there in the earliest flag, has been removed from the Indian Navy new flag. So what is Saint George cross? I'll show you the image. So this is the image of the Saint Cross George, right? तो ये हटा दी गई है और जो नए फ्लैग इंशाइन की गई है जो this is the new flag, right? And this is the Chhatrapati Shivaji seal that has been incorporated in the new Indian Navy flag. Now it is inspired by the seal of Chhatrapati Shivaji and the white background with the new ensign as a national flag on the carton, and the outer half of the feature has a blue octagonal which is a national emblem. You can see in the image, this is the blue octagonal. It can be important for examination कि किस shape में ये बनाई गई है. This is octagonal shape, right? And the octagonal shape depicts 8 directions and symbolize the multi-direction of each multi-operational capabilities of the Indian Navy. Now about INS Vikrant. Some more details about INS Vikrant. INS Vikrant is designed by Indian Navy in-house warship design bureau, which was built in the Kochi Shipyard Limited. This is also important for many other competitive examination. A public sector shipyard under the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. तो आपसे ये पूछा जा सकता है कि कोची शिपयार्ड जो यार्ड है किस मिनिस्ट्री के डायरेक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कंट्रोल में आती है. So the correct answer will be Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, right? The Vikrant has been built with the state-of-art automation features, which has the largest ever built marine. Basically, जो system INS बनाई गई है, ये वर्ल्ड अभी तक की इंडिया की सबसे बड़ी इस तरह की एक एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर है. Now, some more detail about the aircraft carrier. You can take the screenshot of this. I've taken this images from the Hindu. तो बात करें कुछ मान्यूट डिटेल्स की, टाइम ट्रैवल अगर देखें, केल इन द शिप इन द वाज लेड इन February 2009, राइट. उसके बाद शिप लॉन्च की गई फॉर द वाटर. नंबर 20 बेसिक ट्रायल कंप्लीट हुए हैं, शीज ट्रायल भी कंप्लीट हुए हैं 5 फेज में. डिलीवरी एक्सेप्ट की गई है और अगर बात करें सितंबर में इसको कमर्शलाइज किया गया है. स्टिल फुल्ली फाइटर अगर बात करें ऑपरेशनल के लिए अभी 2 साल और लगेंगे, बट फॉर ऑल अदर कैपेसिटीज फॉर लैंडिंग एंड अदर पर्पसेस फॉर एयरक्राफ्ट टेक ऑफ दिस इज फुल्ली इक्विप्ड. नाउ कुछ और माइन्यूट डिटेल्स की बात करें. टोटल क्रू 1600 हो सकते हैं, कंपार्टमेंट्स 2300 है, मैक्सिमम स्पीड 28 नॉट्स है, क्रूजिंग स्पीड्स 18 नॉट्स, एंडोरेंस स्पीड 75,000 nautical miles. These details might not be relevant for examination purposes, but for as curiosity you should know all these details, right? और इसमें बहुत सारे और डिटेल्स हैं. मीडियम रेंज सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल, क्लोज वेपन सिस्टम है, राइट. फुल्ली फंक्शनल CT स्कैन मशीन्स हैं और 2 ऑपरेशन थिएटर्स भी हैं. एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट इसकी 20,000 करोड़ रुपीज़ आई है. एंड अगर बात करें डिस्प्लेसमेंट की, 42,800 टन स्टील यूज की गई है, एंड दिस हैज अ हाइट ऑफ 61 meters. So even you can read out the minute details, which is just for your curiosity. Out of your curiosity, some details might be relevant, but not all of them. Now, moving to the other news, that is India to host Quad senior official meeting, something relevant for General Studies Paper 2, that is bilateral, regional and global grouping agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So India will host an official level meeting, right, for the Quad grouping with Japan, US, Australia soon, right. तो 4 members हैं Quad के 4 members is United States, Japan, Australia and India. So these members will be having a meeting, right. So first ever senior official meeting or SOM की अगर बात करें will be held in the basically जो recent escalations देखी गई है over the Taiwan Strait, because Quad is vocal about the Indo-Pacific. अगर बात करें इस रीजन में तो Indo-Pacific को लेकर के ये सारे कंट्री अब बेसिकली बहुत ज़्यादा ही कंसर्न है. सो दे हैव रेज्ड देयर कंसर्न अबाउट द इंडो-पैसिफिक रीजन. सो दिस इज द प्रायोरिटी फॉर द मीटिंग टू लुकिंग इनटू द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द इंडो-पैसिफिक. So the Quad SOM meeting, that is a senior official meeting, is one of the number of the meeting with India's specific partner seen as the government balancing move ahead of Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, which is scheduled to be held in Uzbekistan in September 2022. Now, upcoming SCO summit की अगर बात करें, the Prime Minister will attend the SCO summit along with the leaders of Russia, China, Pakistan, Central Asia and Iran. And this will be the first in-person meeting after the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of the pandemic, most of the conferences, meeting and summits were held virtual, right? So यूक्रेन वॉर के बाद रशिया की पार्टिसिपेशन भी इतने बड़े मल्टीलैटरल प्लेटफॉर्म पे पहली दफ़े देखी जाएगी. Now, Ministry of External Affairs official will follow the Quad meeting with India's and US 2+2 inter-sessional meetings. And the summit will review the progress in the number of Quad initiatives that will discuss the Quad summit that was held in Tokyo. तो जो पिछली मीटिंग टोक्यो में हुई है उसके जो रनअप्स होंगे या फिर जो चीज़ों में जो चीज़ें रह गई हैं उन पे भी दोबारा से बातें होंगी. So this is how this upcoming meeting of the SCO is going to be very significant. Now, paddy cultivation sees decline, something relevant for your General Studies Paper 3 under the topic Issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies, minimum support price and public distribution system. So according to the data which was released by the Union Agriculture Ministry recently, it has forecasted that the paddy showing has seen a decreasing trend, and even during the time when monsoon is about to end in the northern India, and it is about at its end stage. But despite the fact the sowing area has decreased, it has given us a decreasing trend. So the decrease in the area of paddy cultivation is almost 22.90 lakh hectare. ये decrease हुई है जो कि 5.62% लेस है compared to 2021. तो अगर डेटा वाइज एक्यूरेटली बात करें, एज ऑफ नाउ paddy has been cultivated in 383.99 लाख हेक्टेयर, जो कि पहले 406.89 लाख हेक्टेयर हुआ करती थी. right? So this is the marginal decrease of 22.90 that we have witnessed, and in percentage, in totality, this is 5.62% decrease. Now, looking into the performances of the state that has seen the decreasing trend in the paddy cultivations, तो paddy cultivation में कौन के state की decreasing trend है. So this is here Jharkhand with a decrease of 9.80, the highest decrease, right? All data that is given is in the hectares, lakh hectares. Madhya Pradesh 6.32 lakh hectares, West Bengal 4.45, Chhattisgarh 3.91, Uttar Pradesh 2.61 and Bihar is 2.18. तो ये डिक्रीज देखी गई है इन सारे स्टेट्स में, एंड दिस नंबर्स टुगेदर सम अप्स टू 22.90 हेक्टेयर, जो मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में बताया था. नाउ द अबव मेंशन स्टेट्स हैव अ मेजर कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस फॉर द डिक्रीज इन द खरीफ. बेसिकली पैडी की अगर बात करें खरीफ सीजन में, ये सबसे ज़्यादा हाई देखी गई है इतने नंबर्स में. And the farmer organization has been maintaining that the higher input cost, particularly the increase in the prices of fertilizers, is main reason behind the decreasing paddy cultivation apart from the scarcity of water. तो वाटर की स्कैरसिटी एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स है. उसके अलावे जिस तरह से फर्टिलाइजर्स की प्राइसेस बढ़ी हैं उसने भी डिक्रीजिंग ट्रेंड में कंट्रीब्यूट किया है, राइट. नाउ स्टेट्स दैट हैज सीन द इंक्रीजिंग ट्रेंड, तो कुछ स्टेट्स के अगर नाम बताऊं मैं आपको, दिस इंक्लूड तेलंगाना which has increased of 4.7 lakh hectares, Haryana with 0.9 lakh hectares, Nagaland 0.78 and Gujarat 0.5 lakh hectares. These states have shown the increasing trend, right? The other news, that is indigenous vaccines against the lumpy skin diseases, something relevant for general studies paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology and development of new technology. So the Indian Council for Agriculture Research, better known as ICAR, is to commercialize the indigenously developed lumpy Provac Ind vaccines, that is against the lumpy skin diseases, which is also known as LSD. जो LSD के वायरस हैं उनके लिए जो वैक्सीन बनाई गई है, this is going to be a very important and significant milestone, right? So India's cattle population has totaled around 193.46 million as per the livestock census which was done in 2019. A factual information that you can utilize in the mains examination. Now at least 80% of the population of the livestock or the cattle has been covered to achieve the herd immunity. ये पाया गया है कि जितने populations हैं cattle की उसमें 80% already herd immunity पे चल रही है, ideally through the vaccine that provide not just to the parental protections. Now about the lumpy Provac vaccines की अगर बात करें, it has jointly developed by ICAR, National Center for Equines at Hisar, Haryana and Indian Veterinary Science Institute at Ijjat Nagar in Uttar Pradesh, that has a live attenuated vaccines, right? And similar to that of the user agent that is used in tuberculosis, measles, mumps and rubella. एक heterologous vaccines offering है only to the cross protection up to 60 to 70% of the cattle against the LSD virus or lumpy skin disease virus. Now infections due to LSD virus किस तरह से infect करती है? According to the official data, the lumpy skin disease virus has infected almost close to 11.21 lakh cattle and caused 49,628. It's approximately 50,000 that has been reported. The virus mainly spread by biting flies, mosquito and ticks, and symptoms are like ranging from fevers, high fever, loss of appetite, nasal discharge, watery eyes, hypersalivations, and severe skin eruptions देखी जाती हैं, inflammations, nodule बन जाते हैं, which is the main symptoms of the LSD virus infections. Now, some of the states that has been reported with the virus prominently, which include Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, Goa, Andaman and Nicobar. So these states include all this virus that has been reported. Now something more about the lumpy skin diseases. This is a important information specifically for the prelims examination and many other government examination, right? So animal mainly developed large firm nodules up to 5 centimeter in diameter in the skin, and depression, anorexia, rhinitis, conjunctivitis and excess salivation is the symptoms. Incubation period की अगर बात करें between 4 to 14 days post infection. High fever is again the main symptom and swollen lymph nodes is there. Marked decrease in the milk production, जो milk production है उसमें decrease देखी जाती है. Mobility की अगर बात करें morbidity की, this is between 5 to 45%. And basically it's also affect the respiratory and gastrointestinal tract of the cat, right? So these are some of the basic information essentially required by you. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is India's cyber infrastructure need more than patches. Something relevant for General Studies Paper 2 under the topic Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors and Issues Arising from it Design and Implementations. So the entire editorial focuses upon India's cyber security infrastructure or cyber infrastructure, and I'll be simplifying this editorial into some important subheads which include the police and public order, no procedural code has been established, ड्राफ्ट रूल जुडिशरी गाइडेंस की बात करेंगे, शॉर्टेज ऑफ टेक्निकल स्टाफ्स जो एक बॉटलनेक है पूरी हमारे साइबर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को लेकर के, इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट क्या कहती है, अपग्रेड करने की जरूरत है साइबर लैब्स की, नीड फॉर द लोकलाइजेशंस and conclusion. So these all subheads will help you understand the comprehensive analysis of this editorial. Now, in the recent time, it has been seen there's a steady spike in the cyber crime in the last 5 years. ये देखा गया है पिछले 5 सालों में जो साइबर क्राइम की केसेस है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़े हैं. And according to the National Crime Record Bureau, that is NCRB, from 12,317 cases in 2016, the number of the cases that has been registered in 2020 has taken a toll up to 50,035. So this is the number, this is the exponential increase that we have seen in the cybercrime cases. Now in India, the cybercrime is increasing with an increased use of information and communication technology. जिस तरह से टेक्नोलॉजी पेनिट्रेट की है एक आम जनजीवन में, people started using all the apps and other system of the versions. So this has also given a loophole, a vacuum for all this frisking and people to make a fraud or the cyber crimes. However, despite the alarming trend, the capacity of the enforcement agencies to investigate the cyber crime remain limited. तो जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स बॉटलनेक है या फिर जो enforcement agencies की जिस तरह से तादाद बढ़नी चाहिए to augment all these cases has not been specifically increased and it is limited, which is again a bottleneck. Now, पुलिस और पब्लिक ऑर्डर की अगर बात करें, while पब्लिक एंड पुलिस ऑर्डर बीइंग द स्टेट लिस्ट, अगर किसी भी स्टेट में जो पुलिस और पब्लिक ऑर्डर होती है वो स्टेट सब्जेक्ट होती है, राइट? दैट इज प्राइमरली एन ऑब्लिगेशंस टू चेक द क्राइम एंड टू क्रिएट अननेसेसरी साइबर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लाइज विद इन द स्टेट. बट वहीं पे अगर आईटी एक्ट की बात करें तो आईटी एक्ट एक सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेशन है जो कि गवर्न होती है बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. सो there is a confusion and tussle between the central government and the state government because see, police and law and order is a state subject, but when it's come to IT Act, it is the central government which is regulating the entire matter. So basically synchronization करने की ज़रूरत है state और central government के बीच में. Though the government of India has taken steps to include setting up of Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center, जो ICC centers हैं वो बनाए गए हैं under the Ministry of Home Affairs to deal with all types of cyber crimes. Much needs to be done to plug the infrastructure deficit, but infrastructure deficit अभी भी exist करती है. This is the reality. So if you're writing in mains, तो आप ICC के बारे में ज़रूर से example के तौर पे highlight करें. No procedural code has been still come up by the government of India. There's no separate procedure code to investigate the cyber crime or the computer related crime. IT Act के अंदर ही ऐसे भी डील करते हैं. The broad guideline for identifications, collections, acquisitions and perseverance of the जो preservations की अगर बात करें तो digital evidence are given by the Indian standard issues by the Bureau of Indian Standard. तो BIS की जो norms है उसे भी follow की जाती है और IT Act के जो guidelines है penal provisions की बात की जाए वो वहाँ से आती है. The document is fairly comprehensive and easy to comprehend for both the first responder किसे कहेंगे, who could be an authorized and trained police officer in the police station, ये first responder है, as well as the specialist का मतलब है who has a specialized knowledge and skill abilities to handle the wide range of technical issues. So दो criteria रखे गए हैं, first responder and the specialist. Now draft rule under judiciary guideline, खास करके जो हाई कोर्ट्स हैं उन्होंने स्पेसिफिक गाइडलाइन दिए हुए हैं केसेस को डील करने के लिए. सो अ सिग्निफिकेंट अटेम्प्ट हैज बीन मेड बाय द हायर जुडिशरी इन द फील्ड ऑल्सो. At the resolve, basically conference की अगर बात करें, Chief Justice of India of the High Courts in April in 2016 have a 5-judge committee which was constituted in 2018 to frame a draft to ensure that the model of reception for the digital evidence by the court, and this will be admissible by the court, और ये procedures जो हैं वो पुलिस भी use कर पाएंगे under the guideline. Right? The committee, after the extensive deliberations with the expert police and investigating agency, the law enforcement agencies have finalized in November 2018. But suggestions की अगर बात करें, जो draft rule for reception, retrieval, authentications, preservations and electronic record is yet to be given with the statutory force. So Parliament need to basically look into the matter और इसे एक statutory force बनाने की ज़रूरत है. तो आप इस तरह के suggestions भी मेंस के आंसर में ज़रूर इनकॉर्पोरेट करें. Now, shortage of technical staff. These are some of the concern and bottlenecks that India is facing. So there has been half-hearted efforts by the state government to recruit the technical staff to investigate the cybercrime. Right? This is not for any specific state. This is a pan-India problem. Right? तो पहली चीज़ें आप यहाँ पे loopholes या concern highlight कर सकते हैं. The regular police officers with an academic background, basically आप देखेंगे एक पुलिस ऑफिसर्स के रिक्रूटमेंट में क्या किस तरह की क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए होती है. इधर ही इज आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स और लिटरेचर ग्रेजुएट हो या मैनेजमेंट के कोई बंदा हो, वो आराम से SI जो खास करके सब इंस्पेक्टर की वैकेंसीज होती हैं उसमें वो एप्लीकेशन कर सकते हैं और सेलेक्ट हो सकते हैं. सो दिस इज क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम एट द लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज. जो स्पेशलाइजेशन चाहिए वो कमी है इंडिया में. Now what best can be done? And best, after proper training, the first responder, जो कि एक normal individual है, who can identify the digital evidence, can secure the scene of the crime, preserve the digital evidence till the arrival of the expert. तो expert आने से पहले हमें एक ऐसी pole of force create करने की जरूरत है which can act as a supporting to the specialist in India, right? जो specialist force है उनको aid करेगी, उनको help करेगी. Now, this is only the technical qualification that a staff would acquire and analyze the digital evidence. तो एक हमें technical staff की ज़रूरत है जो कि equipped हो इस तरह के problem को handle करने के लिए. Therefore, it is essential that state government should build up a sufficient capacity to deal with the cyber crime. Now, अगर IT Act 2000 की बात करें, this has insisted that the offences registered under the Act should be investigated by a police officer not below the rank of inspector. तो इंस्पेक्टर से नीचे जो रैंक है SI है उनको अलाउ नहीं किया गया है इसमें. ओनली बाय द रैंक ऑफ इंस्पेक्टर इट कैन बी इन्वेस्टिगेटेड. बट यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम ये बताई गई है कि फील्ड की अगर बात करें, जो फील्ड इन्वेस्टिगेशंस होती है वो सब इंस्पेक्टर करते हैं. तो ये ज़रूरी है कि इसमें कुछ चेंजेस लाए जाएँ अंडर द सेक्शन 80 एंड इट शुड मेक द चेंजेस दैट सब इंस्पेक्टर, द SI और द SHO, in metropolitan we call it SHO, that is the station house officer, SHO इंचार्ज बने ताकि वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ क्राइम को अच्छे से कर सके. ही इज अ फैमिलियरिटी बिकॉज ही इज द फील्ड ऑफिसर लुकिंग इनटू द एंटायर ग्रीवांसेस. नाउ अपग्रेड साइबर लैब्स की अगर बात करें, they need to have a cyber forensic laboratories in the state which must upgrade with the advent of new technology. जिस तरह से टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो रही है, हमें अपने लैब को भी वैसे ही स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ इक्विप करना होगा. And even the offenses related to cryptocurrencies that have remained unreported because capacity हमारे पास नहीं है कि क्रिप्टो से रिलेटेड जो केसेस है उसको प्रॉपर तरीके से हैंडल किया जाए. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ईच स्टेट लेवल एंड एट द नेशनल लेवल ऑल्सो, राइट? The central government has proposed launching of a digital rupee using the blockchain technology soon. But before it is launched, we have to see that what is the capacity building, what are the infrastructure development, what are the state of art technology, what are the skill development that we have done before proposing any of the digital rupees, including the blockchain technology. Now, the state enforcement agencies need to be ready with these all sort of technologies. And the central can help in upgrading the state laboratories by providing the modernization fund through the corpus that has gradually sunk over the years. तो ये देखा गया है कि जो specific fund थे उसमें काफ़ी ज़्यादा गिरावट हुई है. Now, need for localizations. Definitely, it is an essential part. Most of the cyber crimes are transnational in nature and extra territorial jurisdiction होती है. तो ज़रूरत है कि जो collection of evidence है from the foreign territory is not bound a difficult of the tidy process because India के पास extradition treaties हैं, कुछ almost 48 countries हैं basically जिन agreements हैं 12 countries के साथ जो इंडिया एक्सट्रेडिशन ट्रीटीज पॉलिसी फॉलो करती है. Now, in the social media crimes, expect for the prompt a blockchain have on objectionable subject. ये ज़रूरी है कि हम इस तरह की localization लॉज बनाए जहाँ पे स्टेट पुलिस भी अपने एंड से उन केसेस को हैंडल कर सके, ना कि एक हायर लेवल पे उनको परमिशंस लेने की जरूरत पड़े. Therefore, data localizations as the must feature that has been proposed under the Personal Data Protection Law so that the enforcement agencies are able to get timely access to the data that is extracted from the Indian citizen. तो ये कुछ localization as a suggestions, as a roadmap, as a way forward आप अपने मेंस एग्जामिनेशन के आंसर में जरूर हाईलाइट करें. नाउ कंक्लूजन की अगर बात करें, द स्टेट एंड सेंटर, बोथ द स्टेट एंड द सेंटर मस्ट नॉट ओनली वर्क इन टेंडम. जरूरी है कि ये सिर्फ पैरेलल के साथ काम नहीं करे, उसके अलावा और आगे बढ़ने की जरूरत है. स्टैट्यूटरी गाइडलाइन की जरूरत है जो कि फैसिलिटेट करेगी इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ द साइबर क्राइम and also will help to commit the sufficient fund to develop the much awaited requirement in the cyber infrastructure. I think this was a brilliant editorial that has given you an insight, a comprehensive idea about how, and it is essentially need of the hour to build a cyber infrastructure with skill backed by the finances by the central government, right? So this is how we have concluded this editorial. Moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for the day, that is inflation के बारे में आपको बताना है. It's measure the average price of the basket commodities and service over time. And inflation is indicative of decrease in the purchasing power in the unit of the country's currency. So do check it out for the correct option. Second, that is the Great Indian Bustard. The Great Indian Bustard is one of the heaviest flying bird in the world, and it happens to be the state bird of Madhya Pradesh. So do check it out for the correct option. If you know, it's well and good. If not, you have to seek for the correct options. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.